Hello, Dr. Liz. How are you?
Shalom, Rav. How are you? And Chag Sameach. Rav,
Yom Yerushalayim Sameach.
Yom Yerushalayim
You and
Sameach.
everyone.
I'll just quickly show you. I'm waiting to go back home, but this is the atmosphere. There's so many people that have done the march, celebrating Yom Yerushalayim. It's so special being in Yerushalayim, and incredible. And it's tomorrow, but they thought today they're going to have people celebrating because of Friday just before Shabbat. So we're going to have a double celebration tomorrow as well. And they have Shachrit on the promenade, and it's magnificent. But Rav, I just want to tell you some very, very positive news. They say next year the World Judo Championships is going to be in Israel, which is unbelievable.
Dr. Liz.
And is it possible to hear now? Now it's better? Is this a bit better?
Yeah, now we can hear you. It was battling to hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. So just being in Yerushalayim for Yom Yerushalayim, it's the greatest zchut, and we're going to have tomorrow as well. And there are going to be many, many davening shacharis on the promenade overlooking Yerushalayim. And just to see the happiness on so many people that we have a united, eternal city of Yerushalayim. And some very positive news, Rav. The World Judo Championships, we won a gold medal in the judo, is going to be held in Israel next year, Bezrat Hashem, which is a big, big zchut. And also, you remember I mentioned, if anybody wanted to buy the Sassoon Bible, which is nearly 1,000 years old, so it went on auction at Sotheby's, and this is the most amazing thing. And it shows you I'm Israel. Alfred Moses, who is an American citizen, who was actually the American ambassador to Romania, but he's very involved in the Georgetown Jewish community. He bought it for $33.5 million, and he's donated it to the ANU, that is the Museum of the Jewish People, which is in Tel Aviv. So it's incredible. Somebody paid $33.5 million, and he's donated it because he's on the board of governors of the ANU, that's the Museum of the Jewish People, which is in Tel Aviv University, and it's going to be here in Eretz Yisrael. So that's the Sassoon Codex. So everybody can now watch it, look at it and appreciate it. So it's incredible. Ain't Kamo Am Yisrael. There really isn't. There's no one. And to see the happiness on people's faces on Yom Yerushalayim, I'll just show you a little bit of the kids walking. Yeah. It's so positive, holding flags and just celebrating. So Rav, really thank you all and wishing you all a Shabbat Mevarchim and just Chag Sameach. All the best, Rav.
You want?
Thank you.
Perfect. I know a little bit of that.
Everyone muted. Okay, so now mute everyone. Dr. Liz, Shirkoach, thank you very much always for the update. Yom Yerushalayim Sameach to everyone. Chag Sameach to everyone. This coming Shabbat, we're going to start the 4th books of Moses, Sefer Bamidbar, believe it or not. How time flies. Look like we started Sefer Bereshit just yesterday. The time just fly by. So this coming Shabbos, we're going to start the 4th books amongst the 5 books of Moses, Sefer Bamidbar, and that's what we're going to speak tonight. But before that, I would like to dedicate the shiur in the soul of Esther Kaden Bat Kitia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav, Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar bat Zehava, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha, Dvorah Ruth bat Beila, Shosha Blima bat Mordechai Betzalel, Malka Regina bat Joya, Beketi Gurgia bat Farha, Nishmatam tihet tzrura b'tzur haim. Also, I would like to dedicate the shiur in health of Menashe Naji ben Farha, Liora bat Miriam, Harav Moshe ben Bahia Bati, Harav Moshe ben Devorah, Harav Avraham ben Marina, Harav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Dvorah bat Esther, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Sheina Keila bat Hannah, Mordechai David ben Leah, Haim Nahum ben Pesareza, Shmuel ben Michal, Baruch ben Sarah, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, Miriam bat Zelda Liba, Moshe Avram ben Henariva, Hayat Tzipora bat Rachel, Ayala Eden bat Rivka, Tova Liba bat Rachel, Yehoshua Chaim ben Hayalea. Please God, refuah shlema to all of them. Now I would like to start the shiur. Jeffrey, don't forget to unmute, to take your mute away. We're going to start, בעזרת השם, ספר במזרע, ספר במדבר, בעזרת השם, נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. Let's start with the first verse. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני באוהל מועד, באחד לחודש השני, בשנה השנית, לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור.
Hashem spoke to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tent of meeting, on the first of the second month, in the second year after the exodus from the land of Egypt.
Okay, here we see something very interesting, that the Torah tells us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu. Where did he speak to him? In a wilderness. Question number one that the Mefarshim ask, what's the Hidush? What's the Hidush? Bnei Israel was for 40 years in a wilderness. So what's the Hidush here that you tell me that he spoke to him in Midbar Sinai? Question number one. Okay. And here you look, question number two, it tells you when it was in the second year. What's the Hidush here? What is the Torah trying to teach us here? So Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to bring two different interpretations, and both of them completely different. The one is going to be according to we're going to do Pshat, Remez, and Trash, and Sod, Be'ezrat Hashem, on this day. So it says, Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe b'midbar Sinai b'oel moed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu in the wilderness of Sinai, in a tent of meeting. Okay? What is it? What is the idea behind it? So the Mefarshim explained to us that the tent of meeting come to teach us something very important. Where was the tent of meeting? The tent of meeting was tabernacle. Okay, and the tabernacle. It's come to teach you something very important, said the Mefarshim. The Mefarshim explain on the pshat of the dvarim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, okay, from the tent of meeting. But on a deeper meaning, what does it come to teach us? Said the Mefarshim like this. It's come to teach us very fundamental idea. It's come to teach you that during underneath any condition that a person is, you have to study Torah. What does it mean? The children of Israel was where? In a wilderness. In a wilderness, they definitely, it's not simple to study Torah. Come, the Mefarshim explained that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu. That I want the children of Israel to learn that underneath any condition, every condition, if they're traveling, okay, if they're touring, okay, or if they're living in a place that there is no Torah, they have to make sure that they study Torah. That means it's come to tell you in the wilderness, you have to learn Torah. The idea is here is to teach us that wherever you are, okay, even if you don't have your comfortability, even you're not in your shul, you're not with your havruta, the person that you regularly study Torah, underneath every condition, in any situation that you are, if you go on business, whatever the situation is, you're obligated to learn Torah. And that's what it said, Vaydaber Hashem el Moshe b'midbar Sinai, okay, be'oel moed, in a tent of meeting. That means that we obligate to learn Torah underneath any condition, in every situation. Another interpretation that bring by the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh been written by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, okay? He asked his son, Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Abba, he wrote it, but obviously it's been added by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in his commentary on this verse, he says something very important. He said that here it's come to teach us that that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the children of Israel through the wilderness of where? Of Midbar Sinai. Why dafka the wilderness of Midbar Sinai? What is the Hidush here? Chazal tell us that the Midbar, in the wilderness, it's the place where the Satan and his army, that's where they have the full control, in a wilderness. When people go to places like wilderness, like any desert, that's where they are. Chazal tell us in the Gemara that there used to be close in a city. When they start causing havoc, one of the sages put together and forced them to go outside of the city. Okay? So they live in the wilderness. Chazal come and tell us, what's the Hidush here? What is the Hidush? He come to tell you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the children of Israel for 40 years through the wilderness, kept them in the wilderness. And no Satan actually harmed them. It's come to tell you here to teach you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu dafka took the children of Israel through the capital, okay, of the Satan, and that's where his territory, to show you that who's in control in the world? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why dafka he done it? It's to build the emunah in the Jewish people. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it specifically that he'll take them through the wilderness. And the children of Israel, that they sin, and the Gezerah was after Het HaMeraglim, after the Meraglim dibru, they spoke Lashon Hara about Eretz Yisrael, was the Gezerah of 40 years to be in the wilderness. Say, the Zohar HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show you that in every situation that the Jewish is, and though that he's in the dark places, and it's referring to the capital and the territory of the Satan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu guard the Jewish person wherever he is, even if he's in the darker places. And he thinks that there is no more guardians, Chas v'Shalom. You have to remember that Zohar. The Zohar come to teach you that HaKadosh Baruch Hu with you 24/7. HaKadosh Baruch Hu guard you in every situation and in every place. And that's the Hidush here, said the Zohar. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe b'Midbar Sinai. Why dafka in Midbar Sinai? That to tell you that although that it's the capital, it's the territory that people can get harmed, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with every Jew. And that's the Hidush here. Let's move on, and we'll go to verse 2. And look what it says here. And here now the Torah speak about the census of the children of Israel. Se'u et rosh kol adat bnei Israel lemispachotam, lebet avotam, b'mispar shemot, kol zachar legulgolotam.
Take a census of the entire assembly of the children of Israel, according to their families, according to their father's household, by number of the names, every male according to their head count.
Okay. According to the head count. Okay, very interesting. On the Pshat of the Dvarim, we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell Moshe to take the census of the children of Israel. Okay? And Rashi HaKadosh come and ask a question. Rashi HaKadosh asked, by the way, who was Rashi? Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki. He born in the city of Troyes in the north of France. He born 983 years ago. And in his commentary on the Torah, he said like this: why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu have to take account of the children of Israel? So on a Pshat of the Dvarim, Rashi answered, because the Almighty love his kids, the children of Israel, okay, from his love, he asked to count them again. I just have to explain something very important. The censure of the children of Israel occurred 4 times, okay? The first time was after they left Egypt, after the Exodus. The second time was after the golden calf. The third time is here, and the fourth time will be just before Bnei Israel going to enter the land of Eretz Israel. So here HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Moshe Rabbeinu, take the census of the children of Israel. And Rashi HaKadosh actually bring what the Midrash Tanhuma say, if I'm not mistaken, the Midrash. And he said, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved the children of Israel. What does it mean? And then the Midrash explained, if a person has something that he really appreciates, something that it's very valuable to him, quite often he count it, he look at it, like people have money in a safe. Quite often they count how much money there is in a safe, or if they have something very important, they count it. The same HaKadosh Baruch Hu counter. We have to understand, what does that counting mean? Rashi speak to us the code. Nachon that he speak according to the pshat of the dvarim, this is because he loves us. And he bring them, the counting, what is the counting have to do? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves us, does it mean that he have to count us? Why dafka counting? What does it have to do, the figures, the numbers? So Rabotai, I saw a beautiful commentary that the Mefarshim explained. And we have to understand that we have to go to the Gemara in Masechet Chulin. The Gemara in Masechet Chulin bring us a very important principle, and it's called Batel Beshishim. What it means, Batel Beshishim? We have a principle that if a milk, a kosher milk, and a kosher meat got mixed together, and I'm going to bring an example that the Gemara bring, and then I will explain. The Gemara tell us, if there is a pot of soup, meat soup, and a drop of milk been dropped, fall into the pot of soup. Hazal tell us, in that situation, what you should do. Hazal say that if there is 60 times more soup than the drop, you have to calculate how big is the drop. And if you see that there is 60 times more from that drop of milk, you can drink the pot of soup, kasher, okay? You're allowed to drink it. If you have less, you have a problem. Why? Because now you have the problem of basar v'halav, meat and milk that got mixed together. So what's the idea here? What's the principal idea behind it? Say Hazal, that the main reason that HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Moshe Rabbeinu to count the children of Israel number of times, not once, not twice, 4 times. Why that? Listen to that. We have another principle in Halacha. Hazal in Masechet Chulin tell us a beautiful principle. And the principle go like this. If there is things that mix together, okay, that means that one thing is taref, not kosher, with it you have something that it's kosher. If you can count the kosher part, that means that you can see it and you know that it's kosher and you can count it individually, you can eat it. And though that it got mixed, okay? That means if there is on a fridge, for example, was non-kosher fish and kosher fish, okay? And you can definitely see the difference between them, okay? You can take the kosher fish and you can eat it. Why? Because you can recognize it. What does that have to do with counting the children of Israel? Said the Mefarshim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that the children of Israel are going to sin. And the children of Israel are going to go to exile. And they're going to be the minority. The minority. While the majority going to be the rest of the nation. Say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'm going to teach you a principle. You know why I'm counting the children of Israel? Because if I count the children of Israel, they're not going to be Batel B'Shishim. That means that they can't be canceled. They're going to be individual. And if they're going to be individual, they're going to survive forever. And that's the main reason, said the Chachamei Asod, why HaKadosh Baruch Hu count us 4 times. That means when you count something, number of times, you cannot cancel it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that we're going to go to long exile, the long exile that we are now. And we see that the majority in the world are not Jewish people. We actually, the minority. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to survive and not to be mixed. That means when I say levatel, to cancel us, that means to stay as a Jewish people. What do we have to do? We have to count us. By that he count us, he given a gushpanka, that means he given a stem to say the children of Israel will never be canceled forever. That means they can never be the Batel B'Shishim. Although the majority is the nation, the rest of the nation of the world. We are like the drop of milk. When? In a pot of milk. But I do so that in real life, that drop of milk that fall into the pot, usually there is always more, 60 times more than that drop. In our case as Jewish, we're never going to be canceled. We're always going to stand as Jewish people. And this is the Hidush that what Hazal tell us, why Dafka Kadosh Baruch Hu, who done the censor of the children of Israel 4 times. That's what hiding behind it. Explain the Chachmei Asod. Let's move on to verse 16. And in verse 16 in our Parashat, we see something very interesting. The Torah here speak, and from here we learn very fundamental idea. And look what it said. Ele קרואי העדה, נשיאי מטות אבותם, ראשי אלפי ישראל הם.
These were the ones summoned by the assembly, the leaders of their fathers' tribes. They are the head of Israel's thousands.
Okay, here the Torah tells us that there is leaders, okay, and who's the leaders? The head of every tribe, okay. What is the Hidush here? I mean, what is the Torah tribe to tell us here? What's the Hidush? I saw a beautiful commentary that brought by Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, born in the city of Toledo in Spain, the same place the Marana Bet Yosef. We're going to bring also later on the Marana Bet Yosef. He born 934 years ago. And Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra, just a bit of history about him. He married the daughter of Rabbi Yehuda Levy. Okay, he always say, first of all, he was a great author. He always wrote beautiful poems, and he explained that because the star luck that he born, he never have a good luck. He said that even if he would sell tachrichim, it's what the rape, the disease, people stop dying. If he start to sell candle in daytime, they didn't have ESCOM, not that we have electricity in his time. He said if he sell a candle, the sun will never set. It's amazing how much he suffered. But he was a great scholar. And said Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra like this. Rabbi Avraham Ibn Ezra said, you know why is it say Keroei Aida? What it means Keroei Aida? The leaders, okay, the head of every tribe, the leaders. What is hiding behind it? He come to tell you that the Torah tell you here that there wasn't only just the leader. There was the head of 1,000. Okay, Nesi'ei Matot Avot, Rashi Alfei Israelim. It means that they was in charge about 1,000. What it mean 1,000? He said that he come to teach you here something very important. The Torah tell you that, say Rabbi Abraham Ibn Ezra, that every Jewish person that was in Israel, he always used to consult with the head of the tribe. And they never done nothing without consulting the head of the tribe that he belonged. He said, from here you learn fundamental thing. What is the idea here? It's to tell you that every time that you have something to ask, you should consult with Gdolei Ador, with the rabbis. Why? Because the advice that the rabbi will give you, it's different advice than what you think, usually. He come to teach you here how important is it to consult with the rabbi, to get the idea from the rabbi. Need something, you have to ask a rabbi. And that's what the Torah tried to teach us, that you need to follow a rabbi. Without a rabbi, you're going to go lost in this world. And that's what the Torah say here. What does it mean? Ele keruei ha'edah. Those are the leaders, those are the head of the tribe. According to them, okay, that they tell everyone what to do in the tribe, those are the ones that you should consult with. Let's move on to verse 49. I'm skipping quite a bit. And in verse 49, we see something very interesting. אך את מטה לוי לא תפקוד, ואת ראשם לא תישא בתוך בני ישראל.
But you shall not count the tribe of Levi, and you shall not take a census of them among the children of Israel.
Okay, so here the Torah tells us that when you take the census of the children of Israel, there's one tribe that you don't count. You don't take their census. That's the tribe of Levy. And we have to understand, first of all, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he commanded Moshe Rabbeinu to take the census of the children of Israel, not to take the census of the Shevet Levi? What's so important not to take them? What is the Ma Hidush? What is the Hidush here? Why Dafka, the Torah tells us we should not take the census of Shevet Levi? So according of the Pshat of the Dvarim, we can explain, because the tribe of Levi never sinned in a golden calf. Okay, he was not with those that sinned in a golden calf, and the tribe of Levi was very individual. Each one was individual. Say the Midrash Tanhuma. The Midrash Tanhuma, it's a Midrash that's been written by the sage Rabbi Tanhuma. I'm sure that you hear about him. And he explained that the main reason that HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Moshe Rabbeinu not to take the census of the tribe of Levi, it's very simple. Because the tribe of Levi is the army of Hashem, is the army of Hashem. What does it mean, the army of Hashem? Those that serve the Almighty. The children of Israel, those are the children that serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In that case, they have to take the count, the census separately. The same like when you count the rest of the nation, okay? You don't count them with the officers, you don't count them with the minister, and etc. That's the Midrash Tanhuma say. Come Rashi HaKadosh, and he bring the Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra. And he tell us something very important. The Gemara in Masechet Baba Batra in page Kuf Kaf Aleph Amud Bet, it's mean 121 folio 2. It tells us that who did they take the census of the children of Israel? Those that was from the age of 20 to the age of 60. Okay? It comes to tell you that those people that they count, those people during the 40 years in the wilderness, those the people that lo alenu are going to pass away. Okay? When HaKadosh Baruch Hu command to pass them, he command not to count the tribe of Levy. Why not to count the tribe of Levy? Because they sinned, okay? They was part of Het Ha'egel, and we know what's happened. It's come to teach you something very important. You know why HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want you to count with them? The tribe of Levy never sinned on Het Ha'egel. And that merit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't want them to be with those that are going to die during the 40 years in the wilderness. So what does it come to teach us? The Mefarshim explained something extraordinary. The Mefarshim explained that it's come to teach us that in the future, you have to learn something very important. That if you follow the manual of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when I say manual, is to follow the law of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to keep the mitzvot, to do whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu command you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will protect you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make special definition between you and the rest. Because the same like tribe of Levi never sinned, HaKadosh Baruch Hu separate them. And we'll see that later. Just now, we're going to speak about it. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu separate the tribe of Levi? We'll get to it just now, what's happened. And we see why is he done it. Why? Definitely special way from the firstborn. Okay, let's move to chapter 2, verse 2. And here we see something very interesting. Here speaking about the flags. And Be'ezrat Hashem on Shabbos, I bring a lot about the flags. I promised Frank I'm going to speak about the flag. Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll speak about the flag. Look what it said. Ish al diglo be'otot lebet avotam yahanu bnei Israel mineged saviv le'oel moed. Jeffrey, you muted.
Sorry. The children of Israel shall encamp, each man by his banner, according to the insignia of their father's household, at a distance surrounding the tents of meeting shall they encamp.
Okay. On the Pshat of the Dvarim, we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu to make flags. What is those flags? That every tribe will have their own flags. Why do they have to have flags? We'll explain just now. But before that, I need to explain what it's saying in this verse. Ish al diglo, a man according to his flag, be'otot lebet avotam, according to his father's hold. What it means to his father's hold? Obviously, if I'm giving you a flag, you belong to that tribe. You belong to that tribe. You belong to that, what do you call it, family, whatever you want to call it. So what is the Hidush here? That the Torah tell us that Ish al diglo be'otot is a sign to his father's, according to his father's household. What's the Hidush here? So I saw a beautiful interpretation that brought by the third Guru Rebbe, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Alter. He born in the city of Warsaw. He born around 176 years ago. He was the third Guru Rebbe, as I mentioned. He said that from here, it's come to tell you that sometimes people have tradition that they got from their own family, their own house. That in his house, they used to keep certain tradition. And he found that it's very difficult. He said that it's come to teach you, although that it's difficult, each person must stick to his own tradition. For example, a Sephardi should continue with his own tradition as a Sephardi. A Yeke is a Yeke, okay? The Litvak is a Litvak, the Hasidim with the Hasidim. Although that it's sometimes very difficult for us to keep to the level of our fathers, to level of our grandfathers, and etc. It's come to teach you that as much that you try harder, that's what later on can connect you and bond you with your tradition. What does it mean? It's come to teach you that sometimes people say, listen, you know, according to that nusach, it's easier. Okay? According to that tradition, it's easier, I'm going to change. Nachon that it's easier, but it's not going to bring you to the level where your father was, where your grandfather was, where your great-grandfather was. That's not where it's going to bring you. And you should try to get, let's put it this way, to own shoes, to try to fit in their own shoes, to try to get to their level. And that's what the Torah tried to tell you. Ish al diglo be'otot lebet avutav. You must keep the tradition where you come from. And you must work on it as hard as you can. Now, what is the idea behind the flag? Rabotai, so there is different idea, and I spoke about it with friends, I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, our friend Frank. And so first of all, we have to understand what is the chokhmah behind the flag. What do we need flags? I mean, what difference does it make that the tribes have to have flag? So first of all, what make them want the flag? So Hazal saying in the Midrash, listen to that. Hazal said in the Midrash, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu given the Torah to the children of Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu opened the heaven, the seventh heaven, and suddenly they saw what's happening in each heaven. They saw that every angel have his own flag, and they're waving the flag. That's what the Midrash said. Bnei Israel ra'u et ha'malachim bedigleim, menafnefim bedigleim. That means waving. What is it saying? It said that Bnei Israel, when they looked up in heaven, they saw the angel, and they have such a desire to be like the angel, to have their own flag. HaKadosh Baruch Hu decide that he's going to give him the flags. You wanted it, I will give you. And he given him flag that every tribe have a flag. Rachi HaKadosh came and explained, you know why they wanted the flag? What was the idea behind the flag? That it's going to be an identification for every tribe to see who they are. Okay? And that was according to their colors, because every color was different on every legs. It came to tell you that the main reason is to identify the Shevet Reuven, Shevet Shimon, Shevet Levy, and etc. So that's on a pshat of the dvarim. But why they really wanted it? What did they saw in heaven that they wanted it? Said the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani. Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani, born in a city of Modena. Modena, it's in the north of Italy, 317 years ago. He saw that and that will explain what Rashi say, what we think Rashi say on the pshat of the dvarim to identify them. We'll see now what does it mean. Said the Zera Shimshon, I'll tell you what they wanted. When they saw the angel in heaven, they saw how they live in peace and harmony. That means that group of angel does not mix with that group of angel. That means every tribe have his own flag. What does it mean, their own flag? To live in peace and harmony together. That means there is no competition between, let's call them angel Y and angel Z, angel A and angel B. That means Bnei Israel, when they saw the angels serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu in peace and harmony together, they wanted their own flag. What did they wanted? They wanted peace. Shalom. Now, stop here. Let's go to the beginning of the parsha. What does it say? וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני. What does it mean במדבר סיני? מדבר סיני in gematria בשלום. Say Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani, that's what they wanted, to live in peace and harmony. I saw a beautiful interpretation of the Imre Noam. Imre Noam is Rabbi Yoram Abargel. And he said that when Bnei Israel saw that the angel living in peace and harmony, one with each other, they wanted that. That means that they wanted that each one of them will live in peace and harmony with the other tribes. And they're all going to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with no competition, with no faribel, and etc. But Ezrat Hashem on Shabbat, I'm going to develop it a bit and a deeper. So it's come to tell you Beshalom. You know what they wanted? They wanted to live with peace, one with each other. Chazal tell us in Gemara, Masechet Shabbat. Gemara Masechet Shabbat, Yud Amud Bet. That means 10 folio 2. Rashi bringing it, and there it's speaking, where can you say brocha? So Chazal say that you can't say a brocha במקומות המטונפים, or when people doesn't dress, okay, that when they're not dressed properly. And there they're speaking about the mikveh, that when men in the mikveh, okay, when people go to the mikveh or to the bath house, in daytime they have bath house, okay, they can't say brocha. Why? Because people not dressed modestly enough. It said, therefore, you learn from here, the same like you can't mention the name of the Almighty where an unpleasant places, let's call it, people that not dress modestly enough, not in a toilet. Chazal say in Gemara, you learn from here the name of the Almighty is Shalom. Why? Because you can't even say hello one to each other. You can't say shalom to a person in a bathhouse. Why? Because they're all naked, they're not dressing. Not only that, you can't say to a person, lo alenu, that sits in a toilet, daytime the toilet was different to us, okay? You can't say one to each other shalom. Why? Because the name shalom is name of the Almighty. What is it come to teach us from here? That shalom is one of the most important things to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves peace. Be'ezrat Hashem on Shabbos, I'm going to develop it, and we'll see what the Zohar HaKadosh say on those that love to cause faribol, love to cause mahloket, and etc. So it's come to teach you, say that the main purpose behind the Dgalim, when they saw how all the angels, millions of angels in heaven, serving the Almighty, and they all live in peace and harmony together without any argument, without any faribel between them, without any jealousy. That's what Bnei Israel was desired to have. That's why they wanted the flag. Now we understand what's the secret of the flag. Let's go to verse 7. And in verse 7, we see something very interesting. Look what it says. Mate Zevulun, ונשיא לבני זבולון, אליאב ben Helon.
The tribe of Zebulun and the leader of the children of Zebulun is Eliab, son of Helon.
On the pshat of the dvarim, the Torah tells us that the head of the tribe of Zebulun is Eliab ben Helon. That's on the pshat of the dvarim. Come Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, he born in Germany 754 years ago, okay? And he asked, when it speak about the tribe of Zvulun, it starts like this, Mate Zvulun, ונשיא לבני זבולון. Why this didn't say Vezvulun with Vav HaHibur, like he said to everyone else, and the Reuveni, and Reuven and Shimon. No, it doesn't say. Direct only Zvulun. What is the Hidush here? That's the question of Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, okay? And he asked that question, and it's a very valid question. What's the Hidush here? Why, when it's come to the tribe of Zvulun, there is not the letter Vav before the name, like in all the other tribes? Say the Baal HaTurim, a beautiful Hidush. What did he say? It's come to teach you that the tribe of Zvulun and Issachar made a deal. What was the deal? Zvulun was a business tribe. They used to travel, and I saw a commentary that they say that Zvulun actually used to deal with diamond. Whoever that you see successful in diamond is from the tribe of Zvulun, okay? Because they used to deal with ships, they used to sail and bring merchandise, they sell. That used to be the tribe of Zvulun. The tribe of Issachar, they used to sit and they used to study Torah. Zvulun, although that they was called a tribe and they used to study Torah, but they say, well, they're in business and they're sometimes talking and they're selling and they're buying and negotiating. They're wasting time not studying Torah. The tribe of Zvulun came to the tribe of Issachar and they done a deal. He said, you sit and study Torah all day. And for that, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to look after you. That's mean I'm going to make sure that you're not going to be short with nothing. I'm going to pay for all your needs. That means basically I'm going to finance you. But in one condition, that the Torah that you study, I want to share with your Torah. They agree. And that's what it's called Zevulun ve'Yisachar. There's a deal. What does it mean? Come the Mefarshim and say, Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. He said from that he didn't mention Zvulun, that Zvulun is by himself. It's come to tell you that Zvulun was part of Issachar. Why? Because they make that deal that they're going to share the Torah. But from the other way, Zvulun going to finance the tribe of Issachar, that they sit and study Torah. That's going to benefit financially. That's going to benefit spiritually. What does it come to teach us? Say Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim, from here you learn something very important. It's come to tell you how important is it to support Talmidei Chachamim that sit and study Torah. Why? Because the place that he's going to sit in heaven, you're going to sit with him. So you have to make sure that you're taking Talmid Chacham, a proper Talmid Chacham, that study Torah. Because when the world to come, you want to share with them. You want to sit in a place that you can understand the Torah. That when they speak Torah, you will understand. And that's the idea, to support Talmidei Chachamim. And that's what it tells us. Mateh Zevulun, the tribe of Zvulun. It doesn't say Ve'mateh Zevulun. And the tribe of Zevulun, with the Vav HaHibur. Why? To tell you that him and Issachar done the deal that one, although that is a business people, he going to support the tribe of Issachar. Issachar, that they studying Torah, the Talmidei Chachamim, that merit going to applicable also for the tribe of Zvulun. And that's the secret behind it. Say, Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. Let's move on to verse 18. Okay, in verse 18, it's something very interesting. Now we're speaking again about the flag, but we see here that there is one flag missing. Actually two flags missing, but one we can understand, but there's one flag missing, and we have to understand why. When you speak about the flag, in verse 18, it says like this, Degel Mahane Ephraim, Letzivrotam, Yama, Unasi Libnei Ephraim, Elishama ben Amiud.
The banner of the camp of Ephraim according to their legions, shall be to the west, and the leader of the children of Ephraim is Elishama, the son of Amiud.
Okay. The Zohar HaKadosh asks a very, very valid question. The Zohar HaKadosh in Parashat Miketz in Daf 200, page 200, folio 1, asks a very valid question. He said that if you look, the tribe of Yosef, okay, doesn't have a flag, didn't be mentioned. Why? Nachon that the tribe of Levy is not, because the tribe of Levy, you can answer, because the tribe of Levy, there was the army of Hashem. But why Yosef? Why Yosef didn't merit? That's the question of the Zohar HaKadosh. Said the Zohar HaKadosh something very interesting. The Zohar HaKadosh explained that the tribe of Yosef didn't have a flag because Yosef, a tzaddik, although that he was a righteous man, he was a little bit more proud on his brother. Okay? After all, Yosef, a tzaddik, you know, after everything that he'd done, he was the king in Egypt for 8 years. You know, he supported the tribes and everything. He was a bit more proud on his brother. He felt like he's above them. Say, Kadosh Baruch Hu, you feel like you're above your brother? Okay, no problem. In that case, when they're all going to have a flags, you're not going to have a share to have a flag with them. What does it mean? That it's going to be Ephraim, but not yours. Ephraim was Yosef's son. But because you felt like you're above your brother, your flag not going to be. So if anyone going to ask you, first of all, which two flag was them, so you can tell, not mention two flags. Why Dafka Yosef? Because he felt like he was a little bit above his brother. He had that feeling, and for that he'd been punished. So what is the Musar here? What is the Musar here? That when it's come to the flag, it never been mentioned. That it's come to teach you modesty. Chas v'shalom, not that Yosef didn't have modesty. It's come to teach us modesty. How much we have to be careful not to be arrogant, not to feel that we're above someone. And the Igeret Rambam, the Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, the Nachmanite, he explained there that even if you're a scholar person, and the person that's standing next to you is actually doesn't understand any Torah, you should respect him. Why? Because if you're going to be arrogant about him, you're actually arrogant, and you study Torah and you become arrogant on that person, he's shemzach. He doesn't know. They're going to judge you that you, with all your Torah, you think that you're better than him. So it's come to teach you how careful we have to be. Sometimes we see people doesn't know. Shemzach. They never learn. They never have the tools to learn. It's very difficult to learn. We must not be proud and arrogant on those that can't. And that's the Hidush here. That say that the Zohar come to teach us how people have to be careful not to feel like they're above someone else. And that's the message here in this verse. That the main reason that the tribe of Yosef didn't mention that they have flags, because they felt that he felt like he is a little bit above the rest of his brothers. Okay, let's go to chapter 3. In chapter 3, verse 1, the Torah tells us something very interesting. ואלה תולדות אהרון ומשה, ביום דיבר אדוני את משה בהר סיני. ואלה שמות בני אהרון, הבכור נדב ואביהו, אלעזר ואיתמר. Verse 1 and verse 2. בכבוד.
These are the offspring of Aaron and Moshe. On the day Hashem spoke with Moshe at Mount Sinai. These are the names of the sons of Aaron. The firstborn was Nadav and Abihu, Elazar and Itamar.
Okay. Here the Torah tells us about the offspring of Aaron and Moshe. Verse 2 mention only the 4 sons of Aaron. Where is the children of Moshe? It doesn't mention here. The Torah tells us those are the offspring of Aaron and Moshe. Why the children of Aaron, of Moshe not mentioned here? Question that the Mefarshim ask. Rashi HaKadosh say very simply. Rashi HaKadosh say that because Moshe Rabbeinu taught the children of Aaron Torah, it's considered like they his son. Hazal tell us in a Gemara at Masechet Sanhedrin 19 folio 2 that it said like this: Kol המלמד את בן חברו תורה מעלה עליו כאילו ילדו. What does it mean? If someone teach other people Torah, okay, it's considered like he given him a birth. That means he's like the biological father. He said that because Moshe Rabbeinu taught the children of Aaron Torah, because where did Moshe Rabbeinu receive the Torah? From Mount Sinai, from heaven. When he came down, he taught Aaron and his kids. Therefore, the main reason that the Torah mentioned only the children of Aaron, it's considered like his children. That's Rashi HaKadosh. Come the Maran Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo. Rabbi Yosef Karo, born in a city of Toledo, he born around 535 years ago. And in his commentary on the Torah, he explains something very interesting. He said that if you look what the Torah tell you, ele toldot, those are the generation. It doesn't say the offspring, because in English you translate it to offspring. But it doesn't say offspring, it says toldot. Be more specific, say. And now come Rabbi Yosef Karo, Maran Bet Yosef, he wrote the Shulchan Aruch, and he said, let me explain to you what Rashi tried to tell you. What Rashi brought the Gemara for Masechet Sanhedrin 19 folio 2, what they tried to tell you that when a person teach other people Torah, it's considered like he given them a birth. It's come to tell you not that they offspring. That is from here that become their generation. They consider like his generation. That means the Torah come and tell us a secret here. What is the secret here? When a person teach other people Torah and those people learn Torah, okay, and he helped them to learn Torah, they merit that they receiving will stand for that taught them Torah. Said the Maran Bet Yosef, you know what it's come to tell you? Why is it mentioned Moshe Rabbeinu here? Moshe Rabbeinu taught who? Aaron, his son, obviously all the children of Israel, but we're speaking now about Aaron and his son. It's come to tell you the merit that the children of Aaron studying Torah, that will be remembered and will stand for who? For Moshe Rabbeinu. And that's the secret. That when people teach Torah, when people say Hidush on Shabbos, and those people tell the Hidush to other people, you're going to merit from it. Why? Because it's considered like you taught them Torah. So what do we learn from here? When people learn Torah and they pass it on, the merit that they're going to receive, that they taught other people Torah. Although that Torah been passed and passed, that merit will stay still for him. And that's the Hidush here. That's what the Torah comes to teach us. Very interesting idea. Okay, let's move on. I would like to do one other thing. I maybe skipped it. Okay, why not? It's in verse, yeah. Okay, let's look at it. Let's go and look in verse 12. Let's do that also. It's very interesting. And look what it says here in verse 12. In verse 12, the Torah tells us, ואני, הנה לקחתי את הלוויים מתוך בני ישראל, תחת כל בכור פטר רחם בבני ישראל, והיו לי הלוויים.
Behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel in place of every firstborn, the first issue of every womb among the children of Israel, and the Levites shall be mine.
Okay, on a pshat of the dvarim, the Torah, the Kadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, after the sin of the golden calf, I'm taking the Levite, they're going to be my army. They're going to be my people that going to serve me. Come the Mefarshim and say, wait 1 second. Only after the firstborn sin in a golden calf, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the Levite to become his servant. How can you say that? We saw that Yaakov Avinu, in the time of Yaakov Avinu, he actually took Levy and he made from him a maaseh from his son. Not only that, I'll give you another idea. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the tribe of Levy, okay, and never given him a portion in the land of Eretz Israel.
Yeah.
If that's not enough, even before that, the tribe of Levy never was in a slavery in Egypt. So how can you tell me suddenly now they been appointed to be the one to serve in the tabernacle in Bet HaMikdash? When I say Levi'im, Rabotai, I have to make sure that you understand that including the Kohanim, because Kohen, where is the Kohanim come? It was Moshe and Aaron, the boss Levi'im. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took Moshe Rabbeinu, make him a king. He took Aaron and make him Kohen Gadol. And from Aaron, that was Levi, his offspring become Kohanim. Beseder? So it's all about one thing. How so? It's a very valid question. How can you tell me that the Leviim was not prestige before the firstborn sin? Because what it says in a verse, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the Leviim and make them prestige because the firstborn amongst the Jewish people sinned in the golden calf. How can you say that? I saw a beautiful Hidush of the Zera Shimshon, Rabbi Shimshon Haim Nachmani. And in his commentary on the Torah in verse 5, on verse 3, he explained this. And he said, I'll explain to you what's happening. The Levi'im, they're prestige, and they have to serve in Bet HaMikdash. Okay? But what it's come to tell you, the verse, that before the firstborn sin, they have a privilege to serve with the Levi in Bet HaMikdash. What does it mean? That if a firstborn was a shohet, and he know the law of shechita, he can shecht. Okay? Nachon that he can't serve. Nachon that he can't take it to the altar. But he can do certain work. And there is certain work that they would allow to do where? In Bet HaMikdash, in a tabernacle. But because they was involved with the golden calf, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took that privilege from them and pushed them aside. Now, only the tribe of Levy going to be those that going to serve in Bet HaMikdash. That means before the golden calf, even the firstborn can serve together. These certain jobs that they can do in Bet HaMikdash. But after they sin, HaKadosh Baruch Hu took that privilege and they can't serve at all at Bet HaMikdash, said the Zerah Shimshon. So what do you learn from here, said the Zerah Shimshon? That the firstborn can serve in Bet HaMikdash. There are certain jobs that they can do. They can do shechita, they can do certain works. But because they sin, even that privilege been taken from them, and now it's only the Levim. And that's how we answer the question. Okay, let's move on. We explained that. I would like to go to something. Let's connect it with something else. Let's go to verse 45. 45, yeah. קח את הלוויים, okay, yeah. קח את הלוויים תחת כל בכור בבני ישראל, ואת בהמת הלוויים תחת בהמתם, והיו לי הלוויים, אני אדוני. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Take the Levites in place of every firstborn of the children of Israel, and the livestock of the Levites in place of their livestock. And the Levites shall be mine. I am Hashem.
Okay. Again, we're speaking about the same idea, but now I'm going to bring in different interpretation to what it's in this place. I saw a beautiful commentary. First of all, we have to understand, again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe, the Levite now, they are my army. What is the Hidush? So a beautiful Hidush that I saw, Rabbi Yehuda el-Baz. Rabbi Yehuda el-Baz was one of the, he wrote commentary on the Torah around 253 years ago. He born in a city of Tzofro in Morocco. Tzofro is a city in Morocco, and he wrote a book with commentary on the Torah. And he said, let me explain to you that why the Torah repeat what already it's been told, that the Levite now going to be the only prestige people that are going to serve the Almighty. What's the Hidush? Why do you have to repeat it? Because we know that every word in the Torah, there is no spare words. Every word's been thought, been think about it. He said that there is a secret here. Nachon that HaKadosh Baruch Hu now took the job of the Bechorot and he pushed them away. He pushed the firstborn away. Only the Levy. What does it come to teach you? Say Rabbi Yehuda el-Baz, a very important message. It's come to teach you a fundamental message that you have to keep it in your mind all the time, 24/7. Say Rabbi Yehuda el-Baz, it's come to teach you, number one, if you're a scholar person, okay, and you know all the Torah, let's say that you know all the Torah, and the moment that has v'shalom, a person do avera, done a sin, it's actually immediately, it's built a distance between him and the Almighty. If they were so close, suddenly you can't see the distance. It's become big. It's come to tell you when the firstborn sin with the golden calf, immediately the distance between them and HaKadosh Baruch Hu become huge. It's the same with Talmid Chacham, the same with a normal individual. When a person has v'shalom, I know that he's a great scholar person, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu love him. But in a moment that he's doing avera, become a big distance between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He said, but it's come to teach you another idea. It's come to teach us as the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu how much we should refrain from not doing avera. Because the avera actually making a big distance between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And sometimes people lose their privileges because of that. He said that's why the Torah repeats that here the Leviim that kept all the time the Torah, they the one that become privileged and learn from the other way. the firstborn being pushed away, it's created a big distance between them and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's tell you to teach you, Sir Rabbi Yehuda Al-Baz, from here you can learn something very important. Number one, that the sin push you away from the Almighty. And number two, how much you have to be careful not to do averot. And that's the message here. I would like to conclude in chapter 4, verse 9. Chapter 4, verse 9. And here it says something very interesting. Let's see what it says here. It says like this. It says, ולקחו בגדי תכלת, וכיסו את מנורת המאור, ואת נרותיה, ואת מלכיה, ואת מחתותיה, ואת כל כלי שמנה אשר ישרתו, sorry, I'm reading there, yeah, ואת כלי שמנה אשר ישרתו לה בהם.
They shall take a cloth of turquoise wool, and cover the menorah of illumination, and its lamps, and its tongs, and its spoons, and all the vessels of its oil, with which they minister to it.
Okay, here the Torah tells us about the menorah and the candles. Okay, let's call it the bazichim, that we call the candles. Okay. What is the idea that the Torah here tells us about the menorah and the candles? What is the Hidush here? We have to understand. I saw a beautiful Hidush that brought the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai. Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, born in Jerusalem 299 years ago. And he said like this. He said that here the Torah actually hinting to you that we know the Gemara in Masechet Brachot in page 57, folio 1, tell us that the menorah is actually representing the Torah. The menorah representing the Torah. What does it mean? That the menorah, the fire of the menorah is like a life of our Torah. And the candles, it's representing the Talmidei Chachamim that study. It's come to tell you if you want to survive, if you want to survive during those difficult times, okay, that there is sometime exile like we are now. During those long exile, you have to study Torah. That means the merit of the Torah, that's what can keep us and can bring closer the Mashiach. That means the Torah, by that you're studying Torah, by that Talmidei Chachamim sit and study Torah, that's when you can hurry up the redemption. But he said the Nerot, those that studying Torah, he said not only Talmidei Chachamim, every person that study Torah, by that we sit and study Torah, we can speed the redemption. He said that's what the hint behind this verse. He said Menorat HaMaor, the light of the menorah and her candles. You want to see the light? What does it mean to see the light? You want to see the redemption from your exile? It's those Nerotea, those that study Torah. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit, Be'ezrat Hashem, speedily to study Torah. Amen. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will redeem us from this long exile. Be'ezrat Hashem. Anyone want to ask question? Hello,
it's Anthony. How are you?
Erev Tov, Antonio. How are you?
All right, thanks. The census was taken at 4 different times. Why was the census to count the people taken 4 times?
So we explained that according to Rashi, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved them. Okay, that's on Pshat of that one. But it's the sense that the children of Israel, okay, that the children of Israel will never go lost in a long exile. that they're always going to stood up. By that, the Hakadosh Baruch Hu counted. He said, "You will never be lost." You follow, Antonio?
Just repeat it again. It's not silent. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I will repeat. According to the Pshat of Dvarim, Rashi said, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved us. But what does Rashi mean?
Yes.
He interpreted, by that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can still count us. We brought the Gemarot in Masechet Chulin that tell you, if you can still count someone, although that the majority is, when I say, if you have something that's non-kosher and something that's kosher, we say that if a drop of a milk fall into a meat pot and there is 60 times more, that drop of meat, that drop of milk can cancel, and you can bring the pot of soup. There's meat soup. There's no problem with that. Why? Because it's canceled by 60. Batel b'shishim. Kama Kadosh Baruch Hu tell you it will be a time that the Jewish people are going to be a minority in the world, and they're going to be spread all over the world. But as long that I can count them, okay, and that's why he done the census of the Jewish people for a time, to keep us that we can never, has v'shalom, get canceled and get involved with the Gentiles, and then the Jewish nation will never be exist. That as long that he count us, it's to give us a gushpanka, it's give us a hand, it's give us a push to stay always there, that no one can cancel us, that we can never get assimilate with other nations. Beseder? Or
And those 4 times
will be to be a now as a Jewish nation.
And those 4 times were when we left Egypt, that was 1.
Nahon, after the golden calf 2, and now now that's what we're talking. And the last one just before they entered the land of Eretz Israel.
Yeah. Okay, thanks very much.
Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Any other question? Bechavod. No. Jeffrey?
Yes, yes, sir. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of questions. The one question is, when the children of Israel at Sinai saw the angels with flags, and they wanted it. They wanted the banner. They used to have a banner with the insignia as a banner. They wanted one because there was peace and what have you. But these were all individuals. The banners were for themselves. You know, the angels had individual missions. We have a communal mission as a nation. So why would they want to have? Where is the connection? The angels they see as individual flying flags, very nice. Who they are, they don't have to say who they are because they're given missions anyway by Hashem. As individuals, we're not individuals. We're part of a whole.
Oh, very good idea. So you're pushing me to give you the answer tonight instead on Shabbos. What's the idea? Okay, I'll try to answer it without giving you all the answer because it's like Anthony and I were going to come, and I'm sure Brian going to come on Shabbos and these other. You have to understand that Bnei Israel, each one serves, first of all, individually Hashem. It's not communal. Now, that we all want change, but each one serves the Almighty. Listen to that. Each one served the Almighty in his own way. Because the davening that you daven, it's exactly the same davening that I daven, but it's not the same. Why? Because the kavanah that you have, it's not the kavanah that I have. And the kavanah that Chaim Yankol have, it's not the kavanah that Chaim Shmerol have. You understand what I'm saying? Now, how that we all serving Hashem, we all the army of Hashem, but each one do a different job. Let me give you a different analogy. every army in the world have the infantry, have the Air Force, have the Navy. They're all serving one army. But each one have his own way that he serve the army. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in global, we all serving that, we belong to that army, whatever the job is. But each one in his own way have to do their work. Why? Because specifically you've been chosen for it. The same in our Torah. We're all davening, we're all reading the same, we all study the same. But our kavana and our level of depth is in a different level. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same happened with the angel. The angel in heaven, Jeffrey, when they serve Hashem, there's millions of angels. And each group of angels have to do different jobs. Okay? And the same, like they're all together serving the Almighty with no faribel, with no argument. That's what Bnei Israel was desired to, they wanted. I hope I answer your question.
Okay, well, we can go further later. Thank you, brothers.
Okay.
Excellent. There's one other observation where I'd like to ask you about, where it talks about Eilish Shamot Bnei Aaron, Habachor, and then it says Nadav, who's the verb, and then it says Avihu, and Avihu.
Abechor, Nadav, and Avihu.
And Avihu. Then it says afterwards, it doesn't say and Elazar, it just says Elazar and Itamar. What happened to the Vav for him?
Where's the Vav Hibur? Okay, so in Hebrew, there is when you write things, you write first the first name. And then, like you said, Nadav, Ve'avihu, okay, Elazar, Ve'itamar. That means that the third one doesn't get the Vav Hibur. Why? It's automatically joined. Before you end and you say that's also Itamar. So that includes Elazar. You follow? That's one of the law when you write in Hebrew. Beseder?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? No. Okay. Rabotai, in that case, I would like to wish you, first of all, beautiful Yom Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Mevorachim. This Shabbat is going to be Shabbat Mevorachim, Rosh Chodesh Tov, all the blessing we had. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will say, Dai letzarotenu, enough to our chorus, Be'ezrat Hashem. Enjoy Yom Yerushalayim. All the best. Have a beautiful evening. Enjoy the rest of it. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Shabbat